Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, brothers and sisters. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. If you're new here, hi. I love to talk about Islam, self-love and self-development. And if you're interested in any of those topics, do consider subscribing to my channel for valuable content in the future, inshallah. Alright, so in this video, I am going to share my thoughts with you guys on why is it that you have to stop caring about a certain things or people or situations, and also stop trying to control the same, how it can positively literally change your life. I believe that a lot of the times the reasons we as humans are in the state of distress or perhaps depressed or like just tensed about life or not really feeling our best because we're trying to change the things that we simply cannot change. We're trying to control the things that we cannot control. For example, if you like a human being and if they do not like you back, or if they do not reciprocate your emotions or your positivity, and if you feel like you have such good intentions and a pure heart towards them but they do not reciprocate that, instead of trying to sort of burn yourself up in trying to make them love you or trying to win them, what you can simply choose to do is withdraw your attention, withdraw the only power that thing, that person or that situation might have over you, which is you need to withdraw your attention, you need to withdraw your emotions that you devote into that, right? Because it's very important as humans for us to take care of our soul. Allah has said to us, take care of your soul. You guys understand what that means? We cannot go on investing our emotions and time at places and with people that will not value it, that will make us feel drained and exhausted. And one of the signs to understand whether a situation or person is for you or not is simply try to notice how you feel around that person, or perhaps in a certain situation, which might even include a person. You know, in the end of the day, what is the situation? So are you feeling very drained and exhausted while you're invested into those? Or do you end up feeling happy, comfortable, good, appreciated, and grateful to God that you were with that person or you were in that situation? You need to ask yourself this. You need to be genuine with your emotions and your feelings, because a lot of the times we try to lie to ourselves. Like, even if I make any friends, I was a big time people pleaser, right? So I used to constantly like be with people, meet new people, and I used to believe that if I had one good interaction with them, okay, they are my best friend for life and there's no replacement to them, because I was living in the state of lack, and I also perhaps was coming from a lonely mindset. And even right now, I don't have a lot of friends, but what I am genuinely content about is the fact that I don't let anybody and everybody a place into my heart. I talk to people, I connect with a lot of people, but only Allah knows who is truly in my heart, who has my emotions. And I'm very, very protective of my emotions. I literally block people the moment they start getting onto my nerves. And sometimes, you know, people get pissed because of that and they're like, why'd you even block me? But you know, it's my emotions, it's my life. I cannot control the way you behave or the way you feel about me, but what I can control is what I do, is how I behave with the way I feel about you. If I feel stressed because if you sort of make me feel anything other than the peace and the calm that I collectively decide to cultivate every single day in my life, and my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts in my life, and also like when Allah sends peace and calm into your life, He also tests, are you accepting of it? Do you want it? Or are you sort of, you know, withdrawing, or are you sort of resentful of it? Because Allah sends you different sort of people in your life, and when you are accepting of only the kind of narcissistic people that perhaps were there in your life before you sort of developed this wisdom and this understanding of behaviors in life and people, and how there's just narcissism and evilness that exists in people, and even if you have a good heart, there are a lot of people that do not have a good heart. And being an empath, it can be so exhausting and so disturbing to be in a world where you have a good heart, where you walk with good intentions, when you want to be good and do good, and then you see that the same isn't reciprocated. It can be really difficult to be in that situation. But in that case, see, you're never the victim, because you can decide if you're the victim. You decide that, okay, the world is like that, and I know my heart, I know my sensitivity, I know what I feel, and I am not responsible or answerable to anybody about how I feel. So if I do not feel with somebody, and if I feel like somebody is showing me the characteristics or personality traits from somebody in my past, and I feel like that's being repeated over and over again, I feel like this is something I've put up with already and I just don't want to put up with anymore, and if I remove you from my life, if I choose to make sure that you are out of my sight by distancing myself in order to keep my own mental and physical peace maintained, then I'm not answerable to anybody. A lot of people are making videos about the fact that you're not the victim, 100%. One only decides if they are or if they are not the victim, and the only way you'll be able to do that is by becoming aware of yourself and having enough empathy for yourself and understanding what is good for me and what isn't good for me. Because I believe that the only time a person falls victim or prey to someone is when they are neglectful of their own emotions and intuition and the way they feel about somebody. So if I feel like somebody's energy is off, or if I feel like somebody isn't reciprocating my efforts or my love, or perhaps someone is stressing me out, then the best thing that I can do is in the moment recognize that and withdraw and remove myself from being in anything with that person. That's it. You have to trust yourself. But if I don't have that empathy for myself, what I will do is, that also happens with a lot of people, that I will take it, and I might compile it, the frustration that they're giving me inside of me, and one day if I react all of a sudden, the person in front would be puzzled. What are you doing? And then you become the villain of their story. So I'm telling you one thing, you will be the villain of some people's stories no matter what you do. Even if you're trying to confront them and draw your boundaries at the very beginning and telling them, hey, you know what, I don't appreciate what you're doing, perhaps the disrespect, perhaps the humiliation, perhaps the mean joke, not giving me enough time, not communicating with me enough, neglectful of me. Even then you're the villain, because apparently the whole world revolves around you when you need basic connection with somebody in order to actually internally feel something. Because you're not that person that posts everything with them on social media and pretends to be good friends with them and goes around saying that, but feels nothing in the heart. So when you want some level of attention and you do not get it, then apparently you are the bad friend. But then again, when you withdraw, or when you perhaps even react, then even then you're the bad person. You are a bad person if you cut somebody off. You're the bad person if you draw your boundaries or put forward your concerns in the way you want a friendship or relationship to be working. You're also the bad person if one day you decide to tell them that, hey, you've been hurting me. You're the bad person in people's stories no matter how hard you try. So the best thing you can do is be genuine to your feelings. I upset people lately a lot just because I'm very rejectful, just because I don't let anybody just walk all over me, or anybody make me say yes to them even when I don't want to say yes to somebody. Like, I block people also very easily. Some people are still in confusion. I can literally tell you that. Why did she block me? But I know my emotions, And now one thing that comes up is like communicating with a person. And that is so important, and that plays a very integral role in every relationship. And we cannot neglect that. But for that one thing I want to tell you is that if you communicate to somebody, and if you even think of communicating with somebody, if you have done that before, just look at the past history of trying to communicate how you feel about an issue with somebody, that you tried to change them first. Did it work out? Did it make any difference when you communicated to the person? This is what my concern is. This is how I feel. This is what I am thinking about this whole situation, right? Now, in case it never worked, in case your major values will always compromise in order to feed into what that person or relationship or situation wants out of you, then you need to make your decision of finally being the bad person, perhaps withdrawing or removing yourself. And in case you are perhaps in a friendship with somebody, or somebody tries to cross your boundaries, or somebody is just not listening to you, and you think that you're trying to sense the way to communicate that with them, but then just try to measure how much is my communication going to make a difference to the entire situation of the person. Is it going to make any difference? I'll tell you, give everyone always the chance and the benefit of the doubt to actually share how they feel and to put their perspective forward. But one thing, never ever refuse to believe or see and analyze, and that is their actions. If somebody tells you they love you, if somebody tells you you hold a very important position in my life, if somebody tells you all of those kind and sugar-coated words, anybody in this whole world can do that. And The only thing that would make a person stand out is the action that they take after telling you through their words how much you mean to them. And if they do not mean, if they have a habit of constantly lying to you perhaps, or crossing your personal boundaries, or degrading your values, and then disrespecting you by making you compromise your values, perhaps by lying to you and making you feel like you have to be okay with it, or manipulating you, or disrespecting you, or humiliating you, or neglecting you, and then you constantly try to tell yourself that no, but they are my well-wishers, they are my loved ones, they claim to love me, so they love me. Who are you trying to convince that? Like yourself? But why are you trying to convince yourself that? Probably there's some part in you that questions you of what is actually going on. A part of you questions that, and then you try to suppress because of what you hear. This happens a lot with the people pleasers. As a people pleaser, if anyone ever made me feel special, I used to literally go and trust them so blindly. I used to be like, yeah, they love me. So even if my heart and my intuition would suggest me something completely different about that person, I used to try to convince myself that no, they love me, they told me they love me, and they do, and they love me, that's it. And I trust their words. A lot of the times people told me, I could never do that to you, I could never hurt you, I could never say that to you, I could never hold such intentions for you. But when I would check their actions, they would speak completely the opposite. Completely the opposite. And my suggestion to you, based on my personal experiences, based on the times where I had to dodge those bullets, I had to decide that I have seen what I have seen and I will now do what I want to do. Please focus on people's actions. Focus. If they tell you, I respect you, you hold a position in my life, do they respect you in front of their other people? Do they make you feel the same way when you're out in public with other people? Because I've been always this person. I have all the flaws perhaps, but I've always been this person. And I'm saying this because people shouldn't be like, oh, you really think you put yourself in the pedestal? See, I'm also flawed. But one thing I've always done is, whenever I have any friends, right, and with a lot of excitement, they claim to the world that this is my friend, and perhaps I shouldn't be doing that. And I'm not even asking you to get so much out of a person, but how do they behave with you with people in person? They can say all of those things, but what do their actions show to you? So whoever it is in your life, brothers and sisters, if it is a friend, if it is a relationship, if it is a cousin, if it is a relative, whoever it is, right, just try to assess it. Is it really healthy for me? Is the person standing out to be who they told they are? If not, take back the only power they have over you, and that is your emotions, your attention, your energy. And after that, they do not have the rights to ask you, why did you withdraw? Why don't you call me? Why did you block me? You do not have the rights to question me why I left when you never valued me. You do not have the rights to ask me that, because I know my emotions. And even if the person apparently is right according to themselves, let them be. You might be right logically, but my emotions, I will not lie to them. I will not lie to the way I felt. I will not lie to myself. I will not be dishonest to myself, because I kid you not, wallahi, brothers and sisters, in many, many occasions, if only I would just have listened to my intuition, in the first go, I would have been saved from so many situations, from being hurt, from finally having to put that energy into probably breaking down, or probably reaching to the peak of the disappointment that I could reach, and then sort of withdrawing, being a natural people pleaser, being somebody that tolerates a lot. But the moment I decide now, and now it's difficult for me to draw my boundaries and take actions in my own favor, before the inner child in me just sort of gives up, the lady in me, I would say, just protects and guards my inner child. Sometimes there's a battle going on between my inner child and the lady in me. The grown girl in me sees people for who they are, sees through their masks, tries to look at their actions. The little girl in me wants to trust the whole world. And perhaps the child in you might want to trust the whole world, might want to trust that one person that's not making you feel your best. But you need to sort of bring up your mind, or that grown aspect of you, or that woman or that man in you that knows what's the best for my inner child, what's the best for my vulnerable self, because I have a vulnerable side. All of us have. But sometimes it's very important to bring those guards up and to assess, is this making me happy? Or is this also paving a path towards me being drained and exhausted? And if it is the latter, I believe it is time that you withdraw your attention, you draw your boundaries, you keep your distance, or perhaps completely cut them off. Allah has said in the Quran, I repeat, take care of your soul. And that means to not put yourself in situations and with people who drain you. Because imagine if you put that much time in pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and if you're trying to find comfort and peace in all of these people, I will share with you a verse of the Quran that will make you understand that you can never find true peace and comfort in them anyways. And that is, truly in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find peace and comfort. Subhanallah. Allah has told us in another verse that Allah is truly with those who are patient. Brothers and sisters, don't try to find comfort in people, because if you try to look at people as your ultimate source of comfort givers, you will be utterly disappointed and drained. If you are doing things so that people are pleased by you, you would be drained. But if you do things, good things, even for those people, for the sake of Allah, it will save you from being so drained, so exhausted. Even if I end up offending somebody, it takes me 2 seconds, alhamdulillah, lately to just apologize to them. Because if it were just for the, okay, I'm afraid of this person and that's why I'm apologizing to this person, if the reason was that, it would have been so difficult for me to apologize. But alhamdulillah, it's because the moment I end up hurting somebody unintentionally or intentionally, and then immediately I think of, no, I fear Allah the most, and the fear of Allah takes over my body, I don't even take 2 seconds to apologize. And I'm not a people pleaser by that. And the most beautiful part is, I'm not a people pleaser for apologizing to somebody or for being a kind soul to somebody when I'm doing it only and only for the sake of Allah. But if I'm doing so that they are pleased by me, so that I get their validation, so that I seek their approval, so that they tell me Khairun Nisa is a good girl, we've checked the box which has to be checked so that she is a good girl according to us, then astaghfirullah, I will be drained as anything, naturally, right? Alright, my brothers and sisters, I hope this video benefits and helps you guys and, sort of invokes you guys to think logically about your life and your personal situations. And it becomes the zariya to help you to take care of your soul and make healthy decisions for yourself. If you like this video, do hit the like button, share this video with someone who you think should listen to this, and subscribe to my channel for more such content in the future, inshallah. Until next time, take care. And also, my mother has a vlogging channel of her own, so if you want to know more about my personal life, my culture, and my family, and my really loving mother, and how she always tries her best to make her kids and her family happy, because people tell her a lot, you're really soothing, then do check out her channel. I'm gonna mention it on the screen and in the description of this video and on my channel, and you can for sure consider subscribing to her channel. That would make me so happy. Alright, jazakallah khair for watching. Until next time, take care. Allah Hafiz, Yamanullah.